Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. And in this one, we're going to look at the DEX space and some of the upgrades that are happening there right now, as well as new liquidity resources coming into the market, which when you look at the current volumes, they are really needed. So we look at some of the new resources for liquidity, looking at the current DEXs, some that are upgrading to V2, which will bring cheaper fees because they are reducing their batcher fees and making them more dynamic. Also looking at some going open source. And towards the end, we look at some new DEXs. Yes, 3 new DEXs on Cardano that you mightn't even know about yet. I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 of them you don't know about. If you get value, please do share it out, give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, comment questions or anything below. Let's jump into it. Okay, kicking it off with the announcement from Emurgo with the new partnership they have with the GSR, which is a liquidity provider, one that's been around in the crypto space for a long time now. And to be fair, Emurgo are really starting to step up with this here, with the partnership with Huawei, with the improvements they're bringing to Yoroi. And as far as I hear, there are lots of other things in the works behind the scenes. So if we look at this one first and what it actually means. So Emurgo engages with the GSR to strengthen Cardano blockchain ecosystem. The main things that they're going to, actually, if we look at who GSR are first. So GSR have over 10 years of digital asset market expertise as a liquidity provider and active multi-stage investor. So some of their suite include OTC trading, derivatives, market making. Then if we look at what they're going to be looking at with this partnership, they're going to be looking to provide deeper liquidity, provisioning and market making within the Cardano ecosystem. So this would be for native asset trading. Hopefully this will also look into stable coins and providing more liquidity there for stablecoins. Some updates on stablecoins coming in a minute. And as well, looking at to identify venture investment opportunities. We see this talked about, especially across Twitter at times, where projects are saying that VCs have no interest in Cardano projects. It's very hard to get funding for new startups coming out. We do have Catalyst, but that can take a while and is a bit of a process. It's great to have it, but people need other funding sources. So I'm very interested to see what comes from this one. Increase user interoperability of Cardano projects. Hopefully this brings some more projects working together rather than being in competition. Because when you look at the bigger picture, Cardano, the volumes and everything that's going on here are relatively small when you look at the bigger picture. So projects on Cardano are not really in competition with each other when you look at it from taking a step back. You're in competition with other blockchains and other people out there. And even you can even take a step back from that again and take away maximalism, where you have one chain is far better than the other, or the way we talk about it, and look at it that it's crypto against Web 2. So again, you can keep stepping back of you to look at this. I think definitely within Cardano, we have to stop looking at projects as competitors, because currently they're competing for a fairly small pool. What we need is to bring new people in, and things like this could do that. Jointly promote Cardano education related initiatives. So I'll keep tabs on this and see what else comes from it, but it's good to see initiatives like this. So then looking into the individual DEXs, and we'll start out with Sundaeswap, who have launched V3 yesterday. Congratulations to the team. Pi was on a while back to talk about some of the improvements that they're bringing and some new exciting order types and contracts that are coming with V3, or not coming, that are here now with V3. And just to remind people that V3 is actually V3 of the Sundaeswap protocol, and it uses V2 Plutus contracts, because V2 for them was V2 of Sundaeswap, which was a major UI overhaul, and V3 then brings a few new UI improvements as well as the Plutus V2 contracts. Some of the biggest things that you will notice when you are using this is cheaper fees. And I think this is important for DEXs on Cardano, because a lot of the DEXs use batchers, and towards the end you might see that there are potentially solutions coming to that, but right now batchers are a big part of that. And what Sundaeswap are doing is, because they can get more optimized transactions into each block, it means that they can reduce the fees on them. And if we look at it here, does it give it? It doesn't give it here, but what they have done is, for the first few months, the DAO has voted that the max for a batcher fee will be 1 ADA for V3 contracts. That could be potentially cheaper, because if there's more people trading on that individual pool at the time that you are, then they can be batched together and it'll give you even cheaper batcher fees than 1 ADA. And if we look at the platform right now, you can see, if I'm looking at ADA WMT here, the liquidity pools. So right now you're not going to see many liquidity pools on V3. Over the next few days, weeks, months, hopefully we'll start to see this grow a lot more and more people move out of V1 contracts into V3 or V2. So if you look at it here, you can see there is a pool set up for ADA WMT, but right now the liquidity in that mightn't be that deep. If we look here, if I swapped in this pool, I would get 14.2 WMT. If I trade in the normal pool here, you can see slightly more in that one. But actually, if you look at it, the batcher fee will probably be cheaper on the V3 pool. So actually going in on that one would be okay, even though the liquidity mightn't be there for the V3 pool. In the next day or two with ADA Markets, we should have the next update pushed out, which includes Sundaeswap V3. So that means that we'll be aggregating and finding the best one based on fees and everything like that included. And if you look over here, I think on portfolio, you will see this button. If you are providing liquidity on Sundaeswap right now, make sure you come in here and check this out. Migrate your liquidity to V3. It is a simple process. Migrate liquidity. On this wallet here, I haven't been providing any liquidity, so I can't do that. But when you click it, you'll see any liquidity you have, and you can move them into the V3 pool then. Because with contracts the way they're set up, this will be the same for every DEX. When they upgrade Minswap, which we'll talk about in a minute, when they go to V2 contracts, you will have the same. You will have to migrate your liquidity because you are the owner of the liquidity. You put it into the V1 contracts and you are the only one that can move that or decide to take it out. And this is a security feature, and it should be there for everything, that you are the only one that has control of your assets. So you have to sign the transaction to send it into the V2, or in Sundaeswap's case, V3 pools. Moving on then, we have Genius Yield. Really good update from the team. They have open sourced their smart contracts. I'll leave links to this below for anyone who wants to check it out. Genius Yield, anyone who hasn't seen, is an order book DEX on Cardano. They have open, they don't have batchers, they have smart order routers that do matching of the swaps. There's also bots that you can spin up yourself, market maker bots. And I definitely need to do a deeper dive video into that and explaining how they all work and showing people how to set them up as well. But if you look down through here, you can see that what you can find on GitHub is all of the contracts that they have done. And this was done by Anastasia Labs. And as far as I've seen, Anastasia Labs done this for free. They put out a message a few months ago now saying that any of the top DeFi protocols on Cardano by TVL that were willing to open source their contracts, they would audit the contracts for free. So Genius Yield took them up on that, got the contracts audited, and now the whole community can benefit from that, especially developers looking to build on Cardano. So congratulations to both, and thank you to Genius for open sourcing and Anastasia Labs for facilitating this. Next up, we'll take a look at Splash Protocol, which is currently, you will know them as Spectrum, but they are changing to Splash. Spectrum is going to become its own thing. I think a layer 2 cross-chain swaps and different things there, but Splash is going to become the DEX for the Spectrum Labs team. And yesterday they released a test token. So this is out on mainnet, so they could get their final tests in there. This is all going to be using Plutus V2 contracts. You can see it here. This is the UI looks fairly clean to me. They said there is going to be a new UI coming though when it is officially launched in the next few weeks. But if you want to come in and test it out, see how fast it is, see what the cost of the fees are going to be. I'm telling you, it's faster and it's cheaper than what's currently there on Spectrum. And I am looking forward to it opening up even more. They're going to have opportunities where you can decide who routes your trades. So this is going to put competition in that I could run a bot to batch the transactions. I set the fees that I'm willing to accept for batching people's transactions. Everybody else can set up theirs. So this is going to create competition, which will hopefully in the end mean cheaper fees for the end user. As well, they do mention up here that the pre-sale ETA is next week. Haven't heard any more information on that yet. It was originally meant to be a few weeks ago, but got pushed out. So we'll wait and see what happens there. So currently the number one DEX on Cardano is Minswap, the number one AMM DEX. A progress update for them on V2. So they say the first audit is done by Certec. The second audit by Anastasia Labs. A fresh look by Certec is confirmed. We're on track. They're wrapping up the V2 interface with bug fixes. Open source release and bug bounty is in progress. So looking forward to seeing what they bring. We covered a little bit in previous videos, some of the features that they're going to be bringing, and like Sundaeswap and Splash, lots of really good things for people who are looking to trade and trade a bit more outside of the just swap one asset into another on Cardano. So when it does come out, we will do deep dives into what's going on there. One other bit on Minswap, and this comes into stablecoins. So StableSwap farmers, get ready for an ADA incentive program. So Minswap got funds from voting in Catalyst the last time they got some ADA from that. So what they're doing is putting 25k ADA from the Catalyst incentives or rewards plus 5k from the labs into farming rewards for people, providing liquidity on StableSwap. So if we look over here right now, if I look under USD, you can see these are the two farms that would be fairly attractive to people right now. Are ZED IUSD. There's an APR of 40%. This is a StableSwap pool, so you shouldn't really have much impermanent loss on this, if any. There is the thing of IUSD with DPEGs, and you just have to factor that into your risk analysis if you want to go that route. And then the other one is bridged USDC from OneChain and ZED. You could go into that one, and an APR of 37.88% right now. This does go down as more people come in and provide liquidity and farm, but it's great to see incentives like this. And I think we need to get more and more incentives like this to encourage people to mint stablecoins on Cardano, because right now we're looking at the price of ADA. You're thinking surely it has to go up at some point. So would you really be willing to sell your ADA into stablecoins if the interest rates you can earn on that aren't going to outperform what you see the potential price increase of ADA or any other assets right now? So if we get incentives like this, this definitely encourages more people to either bridge in stablecoins or to mint more stablecoins and put them into the ecosystem. Now let's take a look at some dexes that you mightn't be familiar with. And first up, we'll look at SaturnSwap. So this is from Avatar Nick. He is the main guy behind the Ape Society lending and borrowing protocol Levy Finance. And if you've used that, you will know it is a really smooth experience, really well put together dApp. So he is building a DEX, and he says it's something different. I did have a call with him a few weeks ago. We didn't get into the full specifics of how this is going to work, but he's looking to create a batcherless DEX on Cardano, a batcherless AMM DEX on Cardano. I've seen different questions around how the throughput will be from others. You can see here he has said about making the swap using 120 smart contracts in 3 transactions using TX chaining. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. It's one to keep an eye on if you're interested in what's being developed on Cardano and how things are trying to move forward with DEXs. We definitely do have a lot of them on Cardano right now. And look, it's good and bad. It's good in that it pushes them all to bring out more and better features, cheaper fees for the end user, but also it does disperse that liquidity. So it makes it harder sometimes for people to know where to go for trading. That was one of the reasons we started the DEX aggregator ADA Markets, to give people one place they can go to go in there, put in what they want to swap, and then it'll go off, analyze all these DEXs and come back and tell you where you should be trading and let you submit the order through that. Another DEX that you mightn't be familiar with, I had a call with this team this morning, I didn't know about them until then, is DeltaDefi. Now these guys are looking to do something a little bit different though. They're looking to, you can see here, revolutionizing permissionless liquidity, high frequency trading gateway for Cardano. So when I heard high frequency trading and Cardano, thinking of Cardano with its 20-second blocks, I was thinking, I don't know how that's possible. But they have got something in place that it's interesting how it's going to work. I'm not sure what I can put out yet, but I will be sitting down with the team fairly soon. There's no token, no nothing like that. Just wanted to bring it to your attention to keep an eye on it and see how it progresses. So they're looking to lower order management costs, so you don't pay per swap that you submit. You will pay per one that is filled, but not ones that are submitted. So you could submit 100 swaps into the system, and they would all be placed at different levels. So depending on how many get filled, you pay the fees then per ones that are actually filled. So we'll get into more information on that another day, but just wanted to mention it here when I am talking about dexes. One final one from Michelle from Harmonic is he is talking about here another design for an AMM dex. We don't have a huge amount of information on this yet, but this is just for people who are really into looking deeper into the tech and what is being built on Cardano. He says here the idea is to design for a trustless, permissionless and deterministic no slippage AMM, not an order book dex. So if you're familiar with trading on AMM dexes, slippage is kind of just a part of it. So I'm very interested to see where the no slippage comes on the AMM dex. And again, like with Saturn, how is the throughput going to be when you don't have slippage? Because if you were looking for people to come in and take the orders, well, actually Saturn is going to be, I think, an order book style dex. If you can build a no slippage AMM dex that everything is done in one single transaction, that's something that's going to be very interesting to follow. Video's gone on a bit longer than planned, but thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got some value. Be back soon with lots more content. Let me know what you'd like me to concentrate on down below, and I'll talk to you soon.